Hi there. Welcome to the second episode of me, a software developer, creating an AI business from scratch. So in the previous video, we basically covered everything that we can see on screen here right now. So we had the idea of creating an AI business. We had to study AI in general. And with study AI, I basically mean getting a feel for what is currently there, what AI is currently doing, and which sectors it's kind of innovating. We also studied the market of AI. So what are people doing to make money with businesses in the AI space? Because we know that there are a lot of startups popping up in the AI space, and not all of them are successful. After getting to know the AI market, I started studying the different types of AI businesses that people are creating. And I basically listed and explained five successful ones that you can see right now in practice succeeding. So if you missed all of this and you want to learn more about them, I'm going to quickly summarize them now, but make sure to check out video number 1 if you're very interested in that. So the different AI types are consultant, education, AI agency, software as a service, and freelancing. So quickly summarizing every single one of them, AI consulting will be where you sit together with a company and you basically study their current business model and say, okay, at point X, Y, and Z, you can probably improve things with AI. You don't really implement anything, you just consult with them. And then you can probably connect them to AI developer people or bigger businesses that actually integrate the AI and then get a fee from the consulting and then also probably a referral fee. That is a approach you can go to. Then you have AI education. AI is very new, so there is not a lot of educative material on the market just yet. So if you're good in explaining things, you can definitely go into AI education. Go and do seminars, talks, create a YouTube channel, whatnot. These are definitely things you can do. Then you can also create an AI agency. With an AI agency, what do? You basically do the consulting, or you let someone else do the consulting for you, but you basically create the automations. So you start to really implement the AI for other business. And this can happen on a consultancy basis where you present yourself as a freelancer, or you can do all of this in-house, right? So you can work together with developers from a company, or you can do this in-house and really create it from scratch. It's up to you how you approach that. Then you have AI software as a service, which basically means you find a niche. You find a lot of businesses that have a specific problem, and then you create a product that they can subscribe to, which will then give you a steady cash flow of a software as a service that is either very generic or personalized for other businesses. This is going to be, of course, the sector where you can probably have the most longevity and grow the biggest in, but it's very difficult to find such an ID and even more difficult to actually create it. And then you have AI freelancing, which is basically going to be you presenting yourself on the market and saying, I am an AI developer, or I do AI, which can be no code, low code, or high code. And just go wherever you're needed and get the experience. So with all of that out of the way, that was the previous video. We had to make a decision now. And that is what this video is actually going to be about. We are going to pick an AI type where we are then going to create a AI company around or business around. So the AI type that I am going to be using, because it definitely just intrigues me, is going to be AI agents, and I'm going to build them with large language models. Now, what I decided is I'm going to pick one single sector that I'm going to work in AI with, which is going to be large language models. I think large language models are currently the most developed AI technology that there is out there, the most useful one. You can do all sort of things with stable diffusion and image generation, of course. But to me personally, large language models seem the way to go. So in this video, I'm going to actually try and create a proof of concept. I already tried to dig my brain and basically get an idea, but then I was thinking, let's basically get AI to generate an ID for us. And that's what today's video is going to be all about. So we are going to create a large language model AI agent from scratch. I'm currently in my IDE that I'm going to be using. I'm not affiliated with this IDE at all. This is Cursor, is what it's called. It's basically a Visual Studio Code version. That's been customized to actually support AI. So you can basically chat with your code base. You can plug all kinds of stuff in there. You can do a compose, and you'll see when I'm working with it. I started to use this professionally as well recently, mainly for tedious tasks like unit testing and stuff. And I must say that I really love this type of technology. Oh, first things first, let's open the chat here. With Control L on the keyboard, I can basically pop up a chat right here, which is automatically going to go to Claude 3.5, which is an excellent large language model for coding. Yeah, we're going to start chatting. So I already had a kind of a gist of what I wanted to do. I really want something useful, and I know that these large language models can really hallucinate the craziest idea. So I'm going to type a simple prompt, and then I'm going to see what Claude responds to it and the IDs that it comes up with. Alrighty, so as you can see, I created a prompt for Claude in Cursor. The prompt was basically, I want to create an AI agent that responds to incoming email. If it cannot respond, it will alert a support agent to respond to the email instead. And I asked it to create a fictive business and create 3 data sets where there are frequent mails coming in for. And I want it to also train the AI agent to respond to these type of mails with the context that is being provided. So it basically spitted it out for me here. So it came up with the ID Green Thumb Gardens, an online plant delivery and care consultancy service that ships indoor plants across the country. Very nice idea. I would have never gotten to that myself, to be completely honest. It also created 3 data sets right here with context for the AI. And it also created some sample emails, it seems. So I'm going to simply work with ChatGPT and OpenAI. If you do not really know how to set up an OpenAI account, it's pretty straightforward. What I did is basically ask ChatGPT to help me out on creating an OpenAI account and putting some money on it. Did that. All you need is basically an API key. I'll walk you through all of the steps that you need to set this up. You can copy the code. I will leave the code or links to the code files in the description so you can check them out yourself. Let's basically get started here. Alrighty, so I just prompted Claude again, and while it's loading, I'll quickly outline exactly what I said. So I asked it to use ChatGPT-4 as the large language model. I want to use Python to set up the code. I also wanted to basically do everything for me. So I wanted to create the config files needed for me to connect to OpenAI. I also wanted to set up a virtual environment, so it's now cleanly passing me all the commands here. Sorry, the commands that I need to be typing in the terminal. Here we can see a nice outline of what the structure of the folders should look like. So I'm gonna quickly start setting that up. All right, so I'm now done creating all of these folders, and I must say I'm quite impressed. I think it's doing it in a very clean fashion, which is very cool to see. And now I'm simply going to open a new terminal. And now right here, what I can see is that it basically gave me the commands for Unix or Windows. And of course, I'm on Windows. So I will use the commands here that are specifically created for Windows. Now, I'm currently working on my laptop, so I'm not too sure that Python is actually installed here. So it's going to be very interesting to see that. All right, so as you can see, it's just giving me the commands that Python is not installed, so I'm going to quickly install Python on this computer and then get back to you. Alrighty, so as you can see, I successfully installed Python and I am now creating a virtual environment. Now that is created, we can go ahead and activate that virtual environment we're in. Now we're simply going to install the OpenAI plugins that we need. Alright, and very important here, the next step will be the .environment file where you can configure your API key. Make sure not to share your API key with anyone because they can basically start draining all of the money that is on your OpenAI account. So I'm going to paste that in here, close that file, and you simply paste it right here. So you remove all of this and then you paste it and then you're good. And then you don't have to really look at that file anymore unless you're going to, of course, add other environment variables. Cool. So as you can see right now, it also actually created the config.py file already, which is going to contain the configuration for the AI agent, it seems. So I'm going to run through the code with you step by step to actually see what it is creating. So in this file, it's very simple. We are basically importing the OS, and we're doing that just to get the environment key. Then we are using the .environment, which is basically going to allow us to neatly store all of our keys in the .environment file. And then we can retrieve that API key from our OS, get the environment file, and then the API key. And that's going to be globally registered right here which we can later on use as well. And here we're also going to define the system prompt. So the system prompt is your customer service AI agent, blah, 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 blah. You're going to respond to customer emails professionally and helpfully. If you don't have enough information to provide an accurate response, indicate that the query should be passed to a human support representative. So that actually seems very good. It really gave a very nice structure to the task of the AI assistant here. That's exactly what I wanted to do. So this all looks good. So we can continue with the other files here. This file is going to be the data set right here. So we can train the AI, and this can also, of course, grow. You can basically create an AI agent that is self-improving. So if, for example, in this scenario, let's say the AI agent cannot respond, it has to contact a support representative, a human. The human then sends a response, and you can then let another AI agent basically train the data set, get the relevant data from it, train it, and then the AI agent that does the responding can basically be trained here, right? So what you can see the data sets are is going to be the order status, the planned care, and the returns. I'm not going to bother too much to check what the input here is because it's all fictive and it made it up, so that's good. Now let's take a look at the main.py file, and this is going to be quite a bit of a chunkier bit of code to actually go through, but this should in essence already be our finalized product. We'll see if that's true. I do expect that there's going to be some kind of hiccup, right? But we will see. So it basically starts with importing JSON, importing OpenAPI, and importing from the config. It's going to import the OpenAPI key and then the system prompt. Here it neatly created a class called email responder. Here it will load the context from the training so that it actually knows what data it is going to train itself on. And here it is already constructing the prompt. So it does that by getting the JSON, the context that it needs. Basically what it says here, create a prompt that includes relevant context and the email. So it's going to paste the context that we basically get from that JSON file that we train with. We're going to paste the email content, which is going to be input. We will see that later on. So we'll say, this is the context. This is your training data. We will paste that training data. We will then say, this is the email from the customer. And then we say, please provide a response to this email based on the context provided. If you do not have enough information to provide an accurate response, reply with escalate, passing to support rep. And here is actually going to be the call to OpenAI. So as you can see, it's going to say response.create. It's going to use model GPT-4. The messages are going to be the system prompt. So here we are basically giving it its context. So we are telling it what it actually has to function as. So that is going to be that system prompt. To refresh your mind, it's just going to say you're a customer service AI assistant. And then this prompt will call the method that it's going to construct that based on the context that we trained it on. And we're also going to paste the email content. The temperature, honestly, I have no clue what the temperature means. I would have to look that up, but I'm just going to assume that if Claude uses it, it's going to have seen this in other similar applications. The max tokens, I do like that there is a limit on this because hiccups can happen, and I don't want to spend more than 500 tokens on a request because then the price can be quite high. Here it is going to get the response from ChatGPT and see if the response should be escalated or not. And if it is, it will throw an exception and saying passing to support rep. This is going to create the email responder clause here in the main. It's going to have some test emails already, which is going to be example usage. I'm not sure. It's just going to print them. So this is just a test where I don't have to actually write any type of email. But later on in the next version, I do want to input my own emails and see how it does with that. So yeah, I think we can already try to run this. Let's actually see if the application actually works. So we're going to do Python and then we're going to do main.py and run that. And let's see what this does. And as of course expected, what we can see is that we do have quite a few exceptions. So we're first going to just throw this into the chat and then say solve the issues and hit enter and see what it does with it. I see. So it was a mistake that I made. I forgot to save the training context.json. So far we cannot say if the AI made a mistake or not. And here we go. So let's see, testing email responses. So an email is, hi, I ordered plan GT12345 last week and haven't received any tracking info. Can you help? And now it didn't actually do it. We tried to access OpenAI.ChatGPT completion, but this is no longer supported in OpenAI, patati patata. So I am going to paste this into the chat right here. And then hopefully it is going to use that new feature that OpenAI mentions here. If not, I will just proceed and go to the README file and see how to fix it myself. Also, a very cool feature that we have here is going to be the apply function. So if we hit apply, it will basically automatically show you, just like you would if you have a Git conflict, it will show you what exactly it is replacing. And here you can see it is going to use, instead of the openai.chatCompletion.create, you can see that it's going to use client.chat.completions.create. Now, I'm not sure if this is actually correct. Let's see. So let's now see. I did save this time. Let's now see if it does work. Now it seems that I have another issue on mine. You exceeded your current quota. Please check your plan and billing details for more information on this error. So I'm going to quickly have to check account balance there. All right, so I topped up my account, but I noticed that we were getting error code 429, which basically translates to rate limits being hit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to implement rate limiting nonetheless, because it's a good practice. So all I did was basically say, please implement rate limiting so I don't stress OpenAI's API. And it spit out this code. Let's see what changes here. It's a minimum time between requests in seconds. So 1 second for each request, which seems logical to me. Basic rate limiting. So I like this. It also imported time right here. So I'm going to accept that. That looks good. And now I'm going to try running it again. Alrighty, so I had to fiddle around with OpenAI a little bit, but as you can see, it actually works, which is absolutely amazing because I created this within an hour. Like with the 15 minutes of struggling plus the explanation I did in the beginning of the video, it has not been an hour yet, and I already created a large language model agent that could basically be put to very good use. You can literally use this to automate quite a bit of things. Of course, this is just the foundation of it, but if you basically implement this in between other software, or you just create simple interceptors for emails, you can set up a very functional application for almost any business with this. So let's actually check out the quality of the responses that have been generated here. The first email. Hi, I ordered plant GT12345 last week and haven't received any tracking info. Can you help us? The subject is going to be order tracking information for GT12345. Dear customer, thank you for reaching out to us regarding your order. I understand your concern about not receiving the tracking information. Tracking details are sent automatically when your order has been shipped. Since you placed your order last week, it may still be in the processing phase, as our shipment policy is typically 2 to 3 business days. Delivery usually takes an additional 3 to 5 business days after shipping. If your order has already been shipped and you haven't received the tracking information, I recommend checking your spam or junk email folders, as sometimes these emails can be filtered there. If you still cannot find any tracking information, I will escalate your query to a human support representative who can assist you further. Thank you for your patience, and we look forward to resolving this for you. Best regard, the Green Thumb Gardens customer service team. That's actually a very well structured email, and we can still tweak that, right? For, let's say, for example, we do not want it to say that this was an AI agent. We can simply add to our prompt right here in the config. We can simply say, never mention that you are an AI agent, and then it will not do that. Other than that, that email really looks good to me. So let's check out the next one. So the email is, my Monstera has yellow leaves. What should I do? Your customer, thank you for reaching out to us regarding your Monstera. Yellow leaves can often indicate overwatering or poor drainage. Here are a few steps you can take to help your plant. Check soil moisture. Before watering, make sure to check the soil moisture level of the soil. Most plants, including Monstera, prefer slightly moist soil. Drainage. Ensure that your pot has proper drainage holes and that the excess water can escape to prevent water clogging. Adjust watering schedule. If you notice that the soil is consistently wet, consider reducing the frequency of your watering. If the issue persists after making these adjustments, please let us know. We're here to help. Best regard. And then it says your name and Green Thumb Gardens. So again, a tweak we could make is basically mention, never really say your name. If you don't have a name, don't mention the name. If there's no name in the email, just don't mention anything. We can add that to the system prompt. Again, this email, other than that, looks perfect to me. And then the next email. I want to know if you sell magical plants that sing lullabies. And then here we can see response. Dear customer, thank you for reaching out to Green Thumb Gardens. While we specialize in a wide variety of beautiful and healthy plants, we currently do not offer any magical plants that sing lullabies. Our selection includes a range of indoor and outdoor plants that can enhance your living space and bring you joy, but they don't possess any magical singing abilities. If you have any specific plant types in mind or need assistance with plant care, please let us know. We're able to help. Now, this last one, to me, it seems like it did actually respond, but the response makes sense, right? Because we expected, code-wise, that it would escalate this. I want to know if you sell magical plants that sing lullabies. But of course, the AI has reasoning and it basically says that doesn't exist. So it's probably not going to escalate. So what if I do you guys provide, or something like, because perhaps it's also going to say no because we don't sell bread. What if I say, do you also support liveries at night and abroad? And this should in fact escalate because it doesn't know that. And if it's now going to be hallucinating, we have an issue. What I'm going to do, I'm going to comment all of these because we know the responses to it. Of course, every response is going to be different, which is the beauty of it. There we go. All right, so we commented all of these and I'm going to say, hi, my name is Lorenzo. And then ask that question and see if it actually uses my name as a response. If it does respond, usually it's not going to respond, of course, but we will see. All right, so it's mentioning that it doesn't, but does it actually have that information? And care, return. So it is still returning answers that it doesn't really have the context for. I'm just going to copy this. I'm going to add it to the chat. I'm going to say, I am expecting the AI to redirect to a support rep. But as you can see, it is giving a hallucinated response. Claude AI suggested that we basically make the system prompt a lot more strict. So now instead of indicated the query should be passed to a human, we're now saying never make assumptions or provide information not represented in the context. It's better to escalate and than to provide potentially incorrect information. And now let's see if the response looks any different. There we go. And now it's saying passing to a support rep. Now let's see. We are going to remove all of this again and run that last one here. So let's actually rerun everything to see that everything is still correct. And I'm going to add my name. Name's Lorenzo. There we go. The AI is basically recommending that already. Hi, my name is Lorenzo. And there we go. And then I'm going to see if it actually responds with my name, which would be cool. All right. So it's still responding to those last emails. It's now mentioning my name as well. Let's see how it looks. Thank you for reaching out, for information. It's basically the same email. It may still be in the shipping process. If you have any further questions or need assistance, feel free to ask. Yellow leaves, blah, blah. So this information is quite a bit less elaborate. Okay, so what it previously did was hallucinate. So I must say that this actually does look quite a bit better. Yellow leaves usually indicate overwatering or poor drainage. Let's see. Yeah, and it actually mentioned this. So that's very good. And then this last one, it says passing to support rep. So it's now much more strict, and you can make it less strict, more strict, depending on what kind of business that you are running or what kind of language model you are creating. And that's just the beauty of AI. All of this is happening behind the scenes. You do not need to worry about it. We just created a very functional application, a very functional AI agent that we can basically put to work anytime we want with only an hour of work. This is absolutely incredible. I hope you learned something from this video. To me, this was a very nice experience because creating such a powerful application in under an hour, all created with AI. I didn't have to write a single line of code myself, which I think is absolutely incredible. Yeah, the future is bright for AI, guys. I'm going to end episode 2 here. And in the next episode, I think I'm going to actually put this specific AI agent to work. I'm going to try to create some proof of concepts, and then see how far we can do it. So actually make it send mails, actually make it interpret mails and create a little data set, self-train. I think those are going to be my next focus points. So I can really make a difference compared to these simple AI agents that are being pushed out like nothing. I want one that is actually consistently self-improving. So it's going to be very interesting. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please make sure to subscribe. Leave a comment if you just want to chat, if you want to network with me, and also if you have some feedback on the video. Leave a like because that's what people say. And other than that, I will catch you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.